Factsverse presents. When one particular home went up for sale, Realty sisters Gladys and Carlos Parisi became excited. People spoke about the interior of this particular home for years, and the rumors swirled. Well, since the owner didn't really let people into the home, nobody knew what the inside of 148 Jane Street really looked like. When these sisters were hired to sell the house, they were finally able to get in and get a good look. The outside of the home on Jane Street looked just like the other properties on the Toronto, Ontario street. There are no landmarks on the street or anything that would make it stand out from the other homes in the neighborhood. Most of the houses on the street look very similar. The woman's home caused people to be especially curious because very few people had ever been inside. But that all changed when the owner called a couple of realtors to help list the house. Gladys and Carla owned the realtor agency where they worked. In 2009, they decided that they would make the perfect team. One sister would do the research and look for listings, the other would close the deal and deal with prospective buyers. It was a perfect partnership. The owner of this house in question is Joyce, and when she called the sisters' realty office, she didn't seem all that excited. Most people the sisters worked with were excited about selling their current home because it meant that they were upgrading to a bigger and better place. But that was not what they were hearing from Joyce. She told them that she was thinking about selling her house, and they felt that Joyce was keeping something from them about her home. They didn't know it at the time, but yes, Joyce was hiding something. But it wasn't the common issues that many homeowners might want to keep secret, such as broken water heaters or mold issues. Joyce was 96 years old when she decided to sell her home. But she wasn't your typical 96-year-old. She was very lucid all the time. She was able to get around quite well on her own. She told the sisters that she'd been living in her home for 70 years, and during the 7 decades that she was living there, it went pretty much untouched. She had the kitchen remodeled once, and it was to give the kitchen all the modern conveniences. When the sisters heard that, they felt a heavy feeling of dread. They were worried this house would be in horrible condition and they'd have trouble selling it. The first thing they could think of was that Joyce was probably a hoarder and that there'd be 70 years worth of junk piled up in the house. They decided to mentally prepare themselves for the worst. Well, the one thing that gave the sisters a little hope was the location of the house. It's located in the Old Mill neighborhood of Toronto, which is a very desired location. Based on the location and exterior of the home, the sisters estimated it would probably be worth around $968,000. That number could drastically go down, though, based on the condition inside the house. Well, finally the day came for the sisters to do a walkthrough, and they were both worried and excited. They were not expecting to see what they did when they walked through the front door. The house was not the home of a hoarder. It was extremely clean. The interior of the house was absolutely stunning. It was neat, clean, and amazingly decorated. Besides how clean the house was, it looked like a time capsule from the 1940s. The wallpaper, the furniture, the curtains, and the flooring were all very dated, yet gorgeous. As the sisters moved from room to room, they found each one was more gorgeous than the previous one. They'd been in the real estate business for a long time, and they had never seen a house like Joyce's. The only thing the sisters worried about was the fact that the house was so feminine. They knew many men would be turned off by all of the pink and floral decor that existed in many of the rooms. There was one section of the house, though, that had a very male vibe. There was paneling on the walls, and it had a wet bar. The sisters thought that that would make a great man cave. According to Joyce, it was her husband's part of the house. It was his getaway from all the girly features that she included in the home. The inspection of the home went great, and there were no significant issues. The backyard wasn't in the greatest shape, but that could be easily fixed. The sisters decided on a selling price of $699,000. When potential buyers were coming to look at the home and falling in love, the sisters knew it would drive the bidding up. Not only did people love the location of the home, they also loved the interior, the way it was decorated. That was music to the sisters' ears. This 96-year-old, she put her house up for sale. Just look at the inside of this thing. It is amazing. Would you want to live in this house? If so, would you leave it as is or would you do a little redecorating? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe for more.